show me how you're gonna fit the door? Oh yeah, gotta do. Oh, like a glove. Big fat failure. What's up? It's Casey from Casey's Customs. I bought the worst second-gen Camaro on the planet. The suspension is falling off the car. There is almost no frame left at all. Sure enough, I bought it to turn it into a race car. I'm gonna be racing Pole Barn Garage in 2 days. It needs about 100 hours worth of work. Let's get to thrashing and see if we can't get it all buttoned up. Let's go. All right, time for the mad dash to try and finish my 78 Camaro. I am racing this thing in 36 hours. We are basically going to be loading it up. I'm planning on driving it down to Pole Barn Garage's house, and then we're going to go from there to the racetrack. We are leaving in 36 hours. So we're definitely going to bring a trailer as a backup because there's still so much wrong with this car. If you didn't watch my last video, I got to doing some work on it. I jacked the frame up, put some jack stands on all of the body mounts, and the front subframe fell off, and both rear leaf spring perches fell on the ground. Oh, it's getting worse the more I jack it up too. Oh, shit. I need to get another jack to put. My front subframe is off. So at one point when I was working on this, all of the suspension was on the ground while the body was jacked up. Not good. Also, the jack slipped one time and hit right in the middle of the body. And as you can see, my entire body is actually crumpled. That is not just the rocker panel. Everything moved. There's like a ripple way over in the drive shaft tunnel. Just a really shitty car. We did a bunch of reinforcement to the rear. So I basically have my leaf spring shackles tied in now in the front. The rears look okay. They're not great, but they're at least attached. So in this video, we're going to install everything we need for the race. New fuel tank, seat, I mean, just everything. There's literally everything that needs done. Roll cage, we have to tie the roll cage in to all of this structure that we have added. We're basically gonna be making a dune buggy where the frame now is going to be the roll cage that we're trying to attach to all the suspension. There's just gonna be a shitty old body on top of it. So it's not gonna be pretty, but hopefully it will be very strong. So let's get to getting. First thing I wanna do is start getting my main hoop in here so we can start making a bunch of plates to tie in not only all of these brackets to each other, but to the roll bar itself. Let's get going. Okay, I got the main bar in, and I actually drilled holes through this 1/4-inch plate, which was a giant pain in the ass. So this actually extends down like 6 inches. I don't know if you can see it or not. Not really. But what I'm gonna do now is actually tie that in to my front subframe that's shot. So that way our subframe will actually be tied into the roll bar. And then we're gonna have bars going up here and then also down to the back. I think I'm gonna do the back ones first. The only problem with the bars up front is the rules say you can only have a 4-point roll bar. Technically that would be 6, but it also says you can have door bars. So I'm not sure. Some people will weld bars in the doors and then weld the doors shut. I don't know. I don't love that. So what I'm going to do, I have these cool disconnectors basically where you can take the bar out. I'll show you in a second. So I'm going to put those in. So worst come to worst, if I have to, I can pull them out, but I'd really like to leave them in. So I don't know. We're going to get to that whenever we can. Also, whenever the framework is done, I probably will weld the passenger door closed because this is always just going to be a race car now. The plan is after the race, I'm not just going to have a car built for dirt tracks. This is the first one I've ever done. I can't imagine I'm going to do 100 of them. So my goal is to turn this into a drift car afterwards so we can have some fun, do like some drift events. Just, you know, you can kind of just get a little rowdy with them then. So that's my goal. That's kind of why I'm doing it this way so that we can actually kind of have like a fun, drifty, silly car whenever it's all done. So yeah. Let's see if we can get these rear bars in, and then we'll figure out these front ones. Here's the slide outs I'm talking about. This is the wrong size pipe, but it fits in there, and then you can weld it, and then, like I said, you can pull the pin, and it'll come off. Just like that. So So you have 2 per pipe, and then you can just pull a pin, take a bolt out, and then that whole section can slide out, in theory. But yeah, we're gonna do the rear first, and then we'll do the fronts with these. Let's go. All right, I got the rear bars in. I also put a piece of that 2x4 rectangle tubing to tie all this in together, and my rear leaf spring mounts mount right there. So all that will be tied into this too, which is nice. Horrible news, just ran out of argon, which is a bummer. I'm gonna go steal the bottle from the other shop here in a minute, but I'm gonna keep working. I want a bar, just because there's nothing here on this freaking car. It's such a piece of shit. I want a bar from here to there. So I'm gonna cut, this package tray is just sheet metal. I'm gonna cut a hole in that, and then we're gonna take one of these and tie it in basically from that back point to here. Be super strong. And then we'll also end up having a bar from this one to the other, but I want to get my seat mounted before I do that, because the height of that depends where your seat belt goes. So we'll put a pin in that for now, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I think that will help a ton. So yeah, let's cut some shit, baby. Check it out. I got my rear rails all done. These are tied in to those, which is really solid. All this ties back in to the main hoop. And then, like I said, back there, that ties into the rear leaf spring mount. And this is my front leaf spring mount. Now, up here, there was a piece of metal in this, and it was pretty thick plate. It was galvanized, which I didn't love, but I thought, hey, at least they repaired it. You know, maybe we can kind of just see what it is. I got to messing with it. Both of these were just sitting in there with caulking. This one had a couple sheet metal screws in it, and that is roofing tin, so it's like 26 gauge. This is pretty thick plate, but as you can see, no welds or screw holes. That was just in with liquid nails, like roofing caulking. So that was fun. The good news is, the bad news is it's shit. It's horrible. It's way worse than I thought. The good news is I have really good access to these front subframe rails now. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna weld a piece of 4x4 square tubing to this and then over to this rocker, because this rocker is pretty damn solid. And then I can tie all this in, and then I can put, you know, bracing and brackets in here to I really want this whole thing welded to something. And then what we can do with our door bar is make our door bar go from that plate up to the main hoop. So that'll be pretty strong. I really don't want to have to take the door bars out, but just in case they give me any shit, I'm gonna go ahead and make them removable with those pop outs. But I'd really rather just not do that. The good news is they're still safe with the way they are. They're really strong. You just, like I said, they're just removable. So it's okay, but it's just that much more of a pain in the ass, because instead of just trying to get this, you know, it's already hard to get all these fitting right. Now I have to add in, you know, a section where it can bolt in and unbolt, which is a giant pain in the ass. But it is what it is. I would love to, I'm already so many hours in today. I would love to get this done and then my door bars in, and then we can call it a day, bring in some argon tomorrow, finish up all the welding, and then get brakes done, fuel, all that. I have brand new brakes, master cylinder and booster for it, so we can kind of get going on all that stuff. I also have a proper ignition, so we won't have to use a flathead screwdriver. There's just an ungodly amount of work, and fabrication takes forever. Anybody that does it knows that. I'm not getting anything done sitting here whining about it. Let's cut some shit. Check it out. I got my 4-inch square tubing tied into the inner rocker and tied into the subframe on both sides. And then we have this giant bracket that will tie it all together too, just a real big gusset. And then I have my 2-inch roll bar going underneath that ties in all this together. Down here, can you see it? Got it tied in there. Whenever I weld this, I'll cut this down so it's not sticking out. And then we'll put a gusset on all that as well. But now our roll cage is tied into the front subframe, which is huge because we're already having issues with this subframe falling out of the car. Also, there is a giant cross brace across here. It's actually super thick, and I'm gonna drill a hole through this, through the subframe, and then have a grade 8 bolt tie all that in together too. That'll help a bunch as well. So I'm actually really confident about that. A couple days ago when that subframe first fell out, I was kind of just done. I started looking at other cars to buy. I'm still kind of looking at other cars to buy just in case this doesn't show up on Saturday, but very happy with how this is. Super, super sturdy. We're gonna do our door bars now and call it a night. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. This has taken all day basically. But yeah, let's do that. This was by far the biggest pain in the ass. Haven't even done the passenger side yet. This probably took an hour and a half. Just getting the angles right and getting the stupid freaking reliefs in there right. Oh, it's a bitch. I kind of changed the way this works. Well, the way it normally works, I guess I'd say. Oh, come on. So normally on these, you can do it either way really, but normally these go down, but because I'm going to be sitting here, I want all the leg room I can get. So I actually took it and made it bend that way and up. So still super strong, still tied into everything, but that made the angles even trickier. So what we'll be able to do once it's welded, these tack welds are not good. I had like a little bit of residual argon in there. It's gone now. These are just garbage. So if I move anything, they'll fall apart. But what we'll be able to do is unbolt this, pull that pin. This you can slide, and then that you can pull up and take it out. It'll be okay, but I really would just rather leave it in all the time. But whatever. Rules are rules. To the other side and call it a night. Holy shit, it is getting late. The sun's gonna come up any minute, probably. Okay, my ass is officially dragging. Sun is just about up. This is a very long night, and basically we got tomorrow, and that's about it. And we still have a lot to do. Also, if you've been following this, I still haven't driven this car. It didn't have brakes. I got it running the other day. Gas tank was rusty, so I got a race tank. I got all new fuel lines, all new brake lines, all new everything. But still haven't driven it. We did the transmission gasket and dropped the pan, and it was so bad. There was chunks of shit in there. I think some of it was gears. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm so freaking tired. Roll cage is done. There's probably 5 full hours of welding, maybe more whenever I get my argon, but hey, we'll do whatever. I'm going to call in some help tomorrow. I know Dad's going to be down here, but I might end up making like a Facebook post and just saying, hey, anybody want to come? Anybody that knows anything about mechanical shit, you want to come? You want to weld? You want to do whatever? Because yeah, I don't know how we're gonna pull this off in one more day. Because I have to sleep at some point. Roll cage looks pretty bitchin' though. I am very happy with it. Could have done the roll cage in a couple hours. Having to brace all the framework up was a giant pain in the ass. But she's super solid now. That side over there, I didn't have to worry about this bar bending around a seat as much. This is just going to be a single seater. So that was a little bit easier than this side. Still sucked, but it was easier. So, all right, we'll be back tomorrow and hopefully we get it done and ready to race.
The next day.
So technically the race starts in 14 hours.
Is it 14?
Well, yeah, I'm supposed to leave at like noon tomorrow, and it's 8 p.m. No brakes, no fuel tank, no fuel line, no fuel pump. Drive shaft still isn't hooked up. Everything needs welded. Everything's tack welded without argon. So it's literally just a cold, shitty weld. Yeah, barely held together. And there's still some gussets that need done. And
I got the radiator.
you did get a new radiator. That helped a bunch, actually, because that would have been a problem. If we got to the finish line and then we drove it a block, that we would have figured out the stock radiator was shit. Also, it was about this big. I couldn't believe how thin it was. But yeah, so you've been doing some work. You did some good shit here. Got the carb hooked up. You did some dumb shit, and I yelled at you today, and I apologize for that.
It did say plastic.
It said you don't need bumpers, or said no bumpers, but it's kind of like an unwritten rule they don't really care about. So I came down here, and all the bumpers were off, and the hood was off. And I was freaking out, and I called my buddy. He goes, oh, they don't care about that. I was like, oh, cool. All right, so. But that's fine. We don't care.
But the doors need to be welded, bolted, or changed.
We're definitely welding that one. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I can climb in this one.
And it says you got to remove the chrome. Does that mean that chrome door handle?
No. We'll fucking paint it if we have to. I am going to cut that package tray a little bit so that the gas tank can come more forward. They want the gas tank as far forward as you can. Which works fine anyway. I've seen a lot of drift cars that do that as well. So she's basically going to be a drifter after this enduro race. Basically, drifter just means RATROD shitbox that you do a lot of burnouts in. So that's the plan. Let's get to cutting. Show me how you're going to fit the door. Oh, yeah. Gotta do. Oh, like a glove. Yeah, once we get it actually sitting on its suspension, maybe. Jeez, a piece of shit car, man. Well, weld some shit.
Probably ought to weld it with the doors closed first.
Yeah, because whenever you put it on the ground, it's going to want to sag. You got to use the door as like a piece of structure. God, this car's a piece of shit. So what I'm gonna do, I just sent out the bat signal on Facebook on Facebook to try and get some people in here to help. I'm gonna get all this tack welded really, really good because last night we were welding without argon, so the tack welds aren't very strong. I'm gonna get this all tack welded really good so it's not going anywhere. And then I'm gonna try and get somebody to come in here and start welding shit because I need to make seat mounts. I need to make the gas tank mounts. We're gonna cut that package tray out, bring the gas tank way forward. Actually, look at this list. This list is crazy considering we need to be racing in like 12 hours. This freaking list. Trans on, fuel pump, brakes, fuel tank mounts. We got a new carb, shifter, drive shaft needs put in. Weld everything. Radiator bracket. We're gonna remount the battery in the passenger seat because we're not gonna have a passenger seat, obviously. Hood pins, weld the door, seat mount. Yeah, just ungodly amount of work that still needs done. So I'm gonna get this welded so it's not going anywhere. And hopefully somebody can come in here and just weld like crazy while I work on something else. Or maybe they can weld tomorrow morning when I'm not here. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, let's keep going. I got the mounts made on the gas tank. I hear something rattling around, so I popped the top off of it. That is my fuel gauge. It looks broke and disconnected. So that's cool. I love that. I love when new parts are broke for no reason. I heard it in there earlier, but I just thought it was this thing, bobbing up and down. No, it was actually laying in the bottom of the tank. Shit. Have to email the company on that one. We're going to put it all back together, though, and just run it with no fuel sender, I guess. We're just going to guess on how much gas we have in it, but we got to keep rolling. It is getting late. Let's go. We definitely overbuilt the gas tank mounts, but I'm not a big fan of underbuilding gas tank mounts. So square tubing, also have round tubing tied into the roll cage. It's also tied into the floor, but I don't trust the floor of this car very much. But yeah, tied in really good, big welds. I use that plate underneath it, so it's also held in by 1/4-inch plate across the bottom and going all the way frontwards, so which is really good. Very happy with how that came out. I think I'm gonna keep doing fab work stuff because Dad can do more of the mechanical shit tomorrow. He can't really do fab work, not very good anyways. I'm so pissed that the bumpers are off because I got to look in. This son of a bitch cut the wires. Why would you cut the taillight wires? I don't know. Apparently he thought I was only using this car for this race and then scrapping it or something. I mean, I don't know. We're going to still have fun with it whenever it's done. I certainly didn't want to put all this time in it and then throw it away. So yeah, we're going to have to, I'm going to probably make him fix that. Put all that shit back together. Hopefully, did he cut the front wires? Hopefully he didn't cut the front wires. No, actually unbolted or unplugged the fronts. So that's good. So that's a little bit easier. But yeah, I don't know what rules he was reading where he thought all the bumpers and hood needed to come off. None of that really needed to happen. It's easy to work on with the hood off, so it's not the end of the world, but the bumpers is kind of a pain in the ass to throw back on. But yeah, I think I'm going to keep plugging along, make a seat mount. I want to tie my seat into this cross bracing, and then that bracing actually needs to go across more into the drive shaft tunnel. So we'll probably do some more of that while we're at it. So much shit to do. God, so much shit to do. Let's keep going. Seat is mounted. Looks good. I am starting to hit a wall. I think I'm yawning more than I'm breathing right now, which is not a good sign. Shit, I just realized I still need to put a bar across there for the seat belts. But I'm going to mess with the shifter some. It's one of those universal shifters, so it comes with about 50 different parts you don't need. But I'm going to try and get the shifter in there. If I can get that done. Oh, shit. I wasn't joking about the yawning. Then tomorrow, maybe Dad can get the brakes and the fuel and shit done. I don't know. There's everything is still just tack welded, which is not good. But, yeah, we're going to keep plugging along, see what happens. All right, shifter's in. That ended up being a giant pain in the ass. I had to make the rod from scratch because the ones they sent weren't right. Also, the arm was like hung down 2 feet, which is crazy. I only needed it to be this big, so I had to cut that, weld that. I actually got the mechanism just tacked to the tunnel right now. That is not the right way to do it, but it's working. It just needs adjusted. So for now, I'm just gonna leave it like that, and then we can adjust it some tomorrow. I might start messing with the fuel tank, fuel lines, but I don't know. I'm getting crazy tired, and it's like 4 in the morning. So we are technically racing today. The race is in, 8 hours, and it's 2.5 hours from here. So not looking good, but we'll see what Dad gets done tomorrow. I might unbolt the brakes for him so he can get those buttoned up. I don't know. There's a good chance you're going to see either more video or tomorrow footage. So, me and Dad came in here and both worked. I worked like 4 hours this morning. Dad worked since 6 a.m. to basically 1. We just called it quits a little bit ago. I ran home, got a shower. He's getting a shower now. We're still going to go down to the race to kind of meet everybody. But I didn't bring my camera down here today. We were just thrashing. So I figured I would kind of do a walk around of what all we got done. We got basically everything on our list knocked out other than the welding. And unfortunately, we popped the drive shaft out and the U-joints are just smoked. And the parts store doesn't have them in stock. That certainly wasn't the kicker. My windshield guy, I had a windshield coming today, and the guy flaked on me. So I wasn't going to have a windshield, and, you know, it's a whole thing. But we did get fuel lines ran, got all of our brake lines done. We just ran everything through the floor because, you know, race car. We're going to be able to just see all this stuff and mess with it. Gas tank is done. Roll bar is basically done. I have one more bar that needs to go in back there. We got a brand new carb put on. I don't know why Dad thought we needed hood pins, but we got hood pins. Got basically everything under the hood done, including the brand new radiator. Thank God I had one in stock. Also, he got all brand new brake lines ran all the way back. So, we actually got it a lot farther along than I thought we were going to, but, you know, shit happens. It is what it is. It's no big deal. We're still going to blast off down there, have some fun, meet everybody. But, yeah, this son of a bitch kicked my ass this week. I am so tired. You can see it in the video. I looked back at the video of me talking, and I'm like, I gotta do this, and it's just, I'm beat. I'm gonna sleep for a day straight after this shit's all done. But, yeah. I still kind of wanted to show off some of the stuff we got done. I really like having the fuel pump and the fuel line all right there, because you can really see it and mess with it. I'll probably end up putting a, like, shroud over it or something, so it's not just wide open, but stainless steel line shouldn't go anywhere. Yeah. Also, we're gonna put the battery in the passenger seat. I don't want it up front anymore. I want it in the passenger seat so you can turn it off real easy if you need to. So, yeah. Big fat failure. So, it is Saturday, the day of the race. I broke the #1 YouTubing rule whenever you are a YouTuber that builds cars. I came in here today and forgot the camera, and me and Dad just thrashed on this thing from... He got here at 6. I came down about 9. I stopped working at 5 a.m. Passed out for a couple hours. He came down at like 6. We worked all the way until 1 o'clock. The race starts at 4 and it's 2 hours away. So we got a lot of shit done, but just too many freaking roadblocks. We actually got brakes in it, got the fuel lines ran, got fuel pump, all that's hooked up. Basically got everything close. Brakes aren't great. Radiator's done. Radiator lines are done. We got a lot of stuff. I welded for probably 3 straight hours, and I'm maybe a third of the way done. And I was like, hey, you know what? It's okay. We'll just, you know, we don't have to have everything fully welded before we get there. I completely forgot the crossbar that goes across here for your seat belts. You have to have that because that's where your 5-point harness bolts into, essentially. Didn't have that. Didn't get the fire extinguisher mount. I had a guy that was going to bring me a windshield today. He completely flaked out on me. So no windshield. That's bad. Can't have that. If you don't have a windshield, you can weld in mesh. Started looking for mesh. Couldn't find mesh. And I was like, hey, man, you know, we were still going to try and do it. We were still going to the last. I said, all we got to do is throw the drive shaft in because it popped out when the leaf springs popped out the other day. Dad takes the drive shaft out. The U-joint is just gone. I mean, it's about to fall apart when he took it out. So I was like, holy shit, man. It's 12:30. I call up the parts store. They are out of stock of the U-joints. They said, no big deal. We get one tomorrow morning. I'm like, tomorrow morning isn't going to work. So, yeah, we're throwing in the towel. We are going to still go down there, make an appearance, still talk to people. You know, I feel horrible that I didn't get it done. I went and took a shower, but I'm still like running on 3 hours of sleep. But I feel better after the shower. Dad's taking his shower now. We're going to hop in the truck and head down, still try and say hi, talk to people, you know, get to see Pole Barn Garage. There's a bunch of guys going. We were going to leave from his house at 1, and I knew I wasn't going to make that, so I said, I'll just meet you down there. Apparently, he had like 10 or 15 people with him, like all racers. So we had a convoy going down to it. It's going to be super fun, but we can't do it. There's just too much that needs done. This was such a shitty car to start with. I had no clue how bad it was, obviously. The seller didn't know how bad it was because he hadn't messed with it in 10 years either, but yeah, just bad. And then we got to reading the rules. You can't have exposed floor. So I would have had to do all the sheet metal work covered up. So not only get everything welded, but then get sheet metal on top of it. There's not enough time. If we had another 2 or 3 days, we could pull it off. Oh, also, I put that shifter in backwards. That's why you're not supposed to work at 4 in the morning when you're tired and yawning. Yeah, I gotta spin that around. Yeah, just so much shit still needs done. I am still going to complete this. I'm not going to just jump on another project like I normally would. I'm going to get some parts in a couple days, finish this damn thing. We're going to go do some burnouts, have some fun with it. I still haven't drove this damn car. The fact that it isn't even driven yet is kind of crazy. We missed it on this race, but we'll still be able to do drifting stuff later on, so that'll be fun. Super bummed that the car isn't gonna make it, but we're still gonna go down there. We're gonna have a good time. I just saw his truck pull up, so we're gonna hop in. All right, we are heading to the racetrack, Butler, Missouri. We're already about 20 minutes down the road. Kind of talking about how we're gonna do. What do you think our predictions are? How are we gonna do in this race?
I don't think we got a chance.
Why do you say that? Oh, because there's no car coming with us? Yeah. Also, it's 3 o'clock, so the race starts in an hour, so we might not even get there on time not taking the car. So, yeah. Yay! Yeah. Felt like it was...
See how the tires got dust all over?
Yeah. Got a real bad wobble, and it sounds like a tick in the motor. Always fun to do on the side of the fucking highway. So this is the third stop in 30 or 40 minutes. That rotor looked like it was damn near cherry red when we first stopped. Is it just warped all the shit or what?
All that brake dust, look.
Yeah. Is the whole wheel hot? Yeah. Yeah. That's not good. It's wobbling too. It must be warped all to shit. Well, fuck. We're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do. Not looking good. Not looking good at all.
Kind of rotor or something.
We were going down there with our tail between our legs anyways. Now we're just, now we're just taking it back home.
You just tell him that, what did he say? Be there, be square.
Well, we're square as shit.
We're gonna be square.
We're square. We're about as square as this freaking rotor is, I think. Holy shit, it's shaking bad. What a shitty week. I put 100 hours in on this stupid thing this week. Dad, we got to talking. He put 25 hours in, but I still wanted to go meet some people. We hop in the truck. We're buzzing down the road, and he goes, I think I might have a loose wheel or something. It feels like it's bobbling a little bit. We're only 20 minutes down the highway. Not even that, 15 minutes down the highway. And I was like, oh, yeah, well, he just took that truck to North Carolina and back. I said, it can't be anything serious, you know? He said, yeah, let's just get out and check. So he starts checking. He's like, maybe the lug nuts are loose. You know, I don't know. We look at the tires. Tires look okay. He tightens them up. I said, let's keep going. We hop in the truck. We go down. Starts doing it again. About 10 minutes later, hop out, double check. Can't really see anything. He sees a lot of brake dust on one of the rims, and he just washed it. So he's like, that's weird that has more brake dust, but doesn't seem like it's a bad brake or anything. No big deal. Let's go. We hop in. We get another 15 minutes down the road. We're like 40 minutes from the house. We're still an hour and something from Butler, and he says he feels it kind of pulling that way, like maybe the brake is locking up. And I said, well, let's just stop again. So we stop again on the side of the highway. This is the third stop in 45 minutes on the highway. And when I first get out, I don't have the camera with me, the rotor is glowing red. Oh shit, that's bad. So he gets out, I get the camera, we start looking at it. You can touch the wheel, the whole wheel is hot at this point. So we have a caliper locking up or something, we don't know what it is. Either the caliper is locking up or maybe a pad is sticking, and the wobble we're feeling is the fact that the rotor got so hot it warped itself. So it's just kind of shaking, you know, the wheel's just shaking the whole time. We started looking at parts stores. We were 25 minutes from a parts store and 40 minutes from home. So we're like, why would you even, yeah. So I called Dalton. I said, hey man, I'm sorry, I can't make it. He said, oh, shit happens, no big deal. We'll get together, you know, in a week or two. I'm gonna probably just come down to his house and we'll have some fun. But yeah, totally bummed. I feel really bad if anybody was going to Butler to meet me, say hello, any of that. I'm obviously not there. But yeah, man, there's just so many obstacles. The fact the caliper would go out randomly on the highway after he just took a 2,000 mile trip or whatever it was is just perfect scenario for how this entire build has went on this damn car. Should have started a month ago, first off, when I first got invited to the race. If I wasn't me, You know, I wanted to be the guy that brought the old car. If I would have just got like a Ford Ranger or an S10 or something like that that I see guys down there with, I could have had that thing ready in hours. But anyways, that's all shit that we could have done before. We are not making it. It's like 5 o'clock now. They're already in the middle of racing and we're back home. So, yeah, sucks so bad. But I'm still going to finish this damn thing. There's no way we came this far to stop now. I'm going to still thrash on this for the next week. So the next video you see on this car, it's going to be done. And I'm going to be doing a burnout. Might be the only burnout it ever does because I still think the transmission might be shit. Because the transmission pan, I think, had gears in it. We got a lot of this list knocked out, but there's still so much to do. I don't even have a freaking windshield or a U-joint. So, gonna order some parts, gonna keep at it. Stay tuned for all that. We will get this thing done. I swear to God, I'll get it done in the next video. If you are not subscribed, please hit that button now. It helps the channel grow more than you would imagine. For the coolest merchandise on the planet, go to Caseyscustoms.com. Got a bunch of hats, a couple new designs in stock. Go check it all out. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, comment, all the good shit they do at the end of videos. Check out some more of my other videos. Peace. I love ya, and I am gonna sleep for 24 hours straight. Bye-bye.